Massive protests breaking out in Mexico City. More than 100 police officers were injured in these violent clashes outside of the National Palace. The unrest follows the assassination of a mayor who had criticized Sheinbaum's approach to fighting drug cartels. Demonstrators, many of them Gen Z, accused the president of ignoring cartel violence and rejecting U.S. help to combat it. Leonardo Falcon and Ignacio Gonzalez are here. They have a podcast called the Leo and Nacho.
What I can say about this is it's about time, because we've been sitting back watching the cartel execute people, even Americans, many Americans, and nothing's ever done about it. And it's about time that the people of Mexico try to take back their country. Because here's the thing, everybody can't run to the United States. I know it's easy said than done, but at some point, you're going to have to stay and fight. And if you come together, you can possibly change the entire government or the country. And sometimes it requires people to rise up, because I believe Trump, what did he do recently? He put he made the cartel a terrorist organization. So things, it's different now in Mexico. I think they're on the edge. And he's even mentioned that they might have her, the Mexican female president, that is, she's almost like a hostage. I don't think she's really running the country. And I'm shocked to see the people starting to rise up, because this mayor, and I read the article about this mayor, he was the 5th or 6th mayor of this town or city. And they were calling him the Bukele, like the El Salvadoran president, because he cleaned up crime within 3 to 5 years, eradicated it almost completely. He locked up every single drug dealer, Mexican, the cartel, MS-13. He did everything. He cleaned El Salvador. He locked everybody up. I heard he even locked up his own mother. Like, he locked up everyone. And if you can clean Mexico up in a sense where there's less violence, there won't be any need to constantly run to the United States.
Podcast in Mexico, and we've had them on many times on Fox Noticias. I'll start with you, Leo. Why don't you just explain to the American people what is happening at this moment, because Mexico is in full revolt right now.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, good morning to the United States, and good morning to you, Rachel. And what Mexico is currently facing is a national awakening. What we're looking at, what you're probably looking at.
And I just want to say, I'm shocked that they're coming on live TV and showing their faces, because oftentimes they get executed. I'm shocked. We've seen it so many times. And they try to make a statement. They try to put fear.
In the screens is a protest of the Gen Z movement in Mexico, where there are no parties that they are leading this. It's the youth, it's the Mexican people. It's not about the left, it's not about the right. It's about the Mexican people wanting the best for the country. And we're all together in this protest. We're all together for a better country. And we see it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We saw over more than 100,000 people during the streets of Mexico. And it was pretty impressive from our part to see it for the first time.
That is impressive. 100,000 people. That is and we're not talking about Cancun. Not that part of Mexico. We're talking about the heart the heartland of Mexico. And for him to say 100,000 people rising up for the first time, because you can't sit back all the time and just take what's given to you. You got to speak up. You got to rise up. Like, it's been going on for too long in Mexico. Too long. You can't keep just running away. Like, the United States cannot take in the entire world. Like, at some point, you got to stay and fight. So they are brave just to be on, TV and speaking up against the violence.
And we were actually there. So we're very happy of the people that showed up in the country and that they are pushing for a change.
Nacho, why are the Mexican people so angry at Claudia Sheinbaum, your president?
Well, in a country which you have 60 murders and 40 missing people a day, every
Crazy.
single day, of course they are shocked. Of course they are shocked.
Yeah.
We, the youth, are really desperate because we don't see the light. The generations see the teenagers after this horrific situation. We decide to protest.
Yes.
No.
And a cartel, the cartel is everywhere. They have infiltrated the entire government system. They are part of the police force. They have spies everywhere. That's why when you see these people protesting there, they have to cover their faces. They're everywhere. So they killed this mayor, and they were comparing him, like I said before, to the Bukele, the El Salvadoran president. And this is like the 5th or 6th mayor that's been killed so far. And they did it in a broad daylight. I heard it was like he had security with him, and they were still able to, they shot him like 7 times right in broad daylight, and nothing was done. So I guess having Trump and the United States labeling the cartel as a terroristic organization has probably given the Mexican people courage in order to fight against all the violence that's going on. So I take my hat off to the people.
With a flag of any political party, no, because they are killing us.
Yes.
That's the reality.
Okay, so what do you believe that Claudia Sheinbaum is complicit in this? We've had senators on here, Senator Lily Tejas, who bravely said Mexico is indeed a narco state, and she said that Claudia Sheinbaum and her Morena party, the political party she belongs to, is in business with the cartels. Is that true in your opinion, Leo?
Well, when we look at what Nacho just mentioned, when we look at 60 murders, 40 missing people every single day.
Damn.
The narco state of Mexico makes it pretty obvious that there's some things going on behind.
Yeah, there's something going on. 60 murders, 40 missing people every single day. Yeah. I don't know who's winning the race, them or Chicago. Because it's been normalized in Chicago, just to touch on another subject. I think Chicago had like 600 murders in 1 year. Yeah.
And the curtains in the Mexican government.
Yeah.
This is sad, but what we look at here in the protest is that there's actually a noticing. There's actually a noticing of all of the Mexican youth, of all of the Mexican families, that they are saying, how can this be happening? And when you have when you have such a big amount of the population mad, upset, at what's
Something's
happening in
going
the
on.
country,
Yeah.
something's going on. And
Yeah.
that's when you have a protest like the one we had yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, people should understand, not only was that mayor murdered in public with his wife and his child there, but then a few days later, another mayor was executed. He was actually decapitated, his head placed on the hood of his car. This kind of stuff happens all the time. It's totally normalized in Mexico.
What time are we living in? Wow. One mayor killed in front of his family, another mayor, the head was decapitated, and then it was like put on a spike, like we living in a Stone Age. Nah. They gotta go in, they gotta clean it up. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. They think they're the untouchable, but I don't think they could. There's no way they could stand a chance with the U.S. military. No way. And they're going to find out.
And the Mexican people are sick of it. Now, President Trump, Nacho, has said, I'm going to take on the cartels in Venezuela. And of course, they're a transnational network, and that includes the cartels in Mexico. He has gone to Sheinbaum and said, will you help me? But her help appears to be very superficial, not real. What do the Mexican people want, Nacho, especially Generation Z? Because Generation Z is the one who is sort of fueling this protest. In fact, Claudia Sheinbaum printed out the names of all the Gen Z influencers like yourselves who were encouraging people to come out and protest, which is like putting a list out for the...
Oh, wow. That is crazy. She basically put a hit list together of, she gotta go. She has to go. She put out a hit list of all the organizers that's pushing to try to end the violence in Mexico. And these two gentlemen, they're on the list. She is, honestly, I think we should just invade Mexico. Just send in the troops, take it over, restructure. I think the people will support the United States. Like, we gotta clean it up. We gotta just send in the troops, because she's not running that country. She put out a hit list. That just says it all. She is a cartel member.
Cartels. So tell me, do the young people like you want the help from President Trump's administration and from our military?
The Generation Z want peace. We don't care if that peace come with American flag in the left arm or the right arm. We don't care. We want peace. The situation we're living in Mexico is crazy. It's crazy, and we have a president who prefers to talk about influencers and content creators instead of fixing the real problem,
Which is
Leo
cartels.
said, which is the cartels.
Last word,
We
Leo.
don't know what
Go
the
ahead.
problem is. We all know it. But
You know that
she
the
prefers
problem...
to look the other way.
Correct. Last word, Leo. Do the Mexican people, does Generation Z Mexicans want President Trump to eradicate the cartels, even if that includes military work, military actions?
I think that's a great question, Rachel. And I think this question works for every single country that is facing such a big and important problem, such as in Mexico. When the Mexican people is in these conditions, when the Mexican people is desperate, as Nacho said, we don't care if it's Russia. We don't care if it's Russia. We don't care if it's the United States. We just want collaboration. We just want collaboration to end this problem for once and for all. We want peace for the Mexican people. We want growth for the Mexican people. We want the future Mexican kids to be in a state of peace, not in a state of war and in a state of insecurity. We don't want it anymore.
Yeah. Well, you are...
Those two influencers should definitely definitely seek asylum in the United States because you know what usually happens when you speak against the cartel. They should definitely seek asylum because at the end of the day, it's like you can't keep doing the same thing over and over. Something has to be done. And I'm happy for the Mexican people to rise up. And they said over 100,000 people protested. Like, how many mayors is gonna get killed before somebody do something about it? So the president isn't doing anything. The police isn't doing nothing. The whole system has to be, revamped.